Oh, I want to talk about this new virus. Like, I'm hearing this shit is crazy.
It's not.
I'm hearing this virus is crazy. The hantavirus outbreak on cruise isn't start of another pandemic. Actually, let's what is the hantavirus?
So there's been an outbreak of hantavirus on a cruise ship, and that's led to the death of some passengers. So what do we know about this virus?
What is hantavirus?
Well, hantavirus, it's named after a river in South Korea, and that word, hantavirus, really describes a sort of family of viruses. Around 20 viral species have been identified according to the World Health Organization. It's not just one infection. It's really serious, but it's also relatively rare, and it's linked to exposure to rats and mice.
Oh my fucking god, we're cooked. Oh my god, we're cooked. Yo, nigga, I live in New York. I'm cooked, my nigga. These little motherfuckers be around all everywhere, bro. Gang. These Mickey Mouse little motherfuckers be everywhere, gang.
The risk is typically highest when someone's doing something like, for example, cleaning out a building that's had a rodent infestation. So most of the human cases are reported in rural settings such as forests, fields or farms where rodents are present, and that means the opportunities for exposure are greatest.
Where could this outbreak have come from?
That's a really, really important question, and the answer is we don't yet know. All the cases are linked to this cruise ship, the MV Hondias, which set sail from the very southern tip of Argentina at the very beginning of April. But the first two fatalities, who are a Dutch couple, they're reported to have travelled through South America before boarding the ship. Now, that's really important because it's possible that one or both of them came into contact with the virus during their travels. And one version of the virus, known as Andes virus, that's been identified as causing infection in humans in both Argentina and in Chile. So, for example, in late 2018, there was an Argentinian outbreak that was traced back to people who'd all gone to the same party. A single person with the virus led to 34 confirmed cases and 11 deaths.
How does it spread? Is it airborne?
Yeah, it is slightly airborne, so
Oh my gosh.
it's transmitted actually by rodents, typically rats and mice, through their
Yo, we're cooked, bro. Bro, NYC be having these little niggas around the trains, bro. Everywhere you see a fucking Mickey Mouse running somewhere, gang.
dried urine and the droppings, which are then blown into the air and inhaled. That's where it is slightly airborne. So mostly, yes, it is spread from rodents, but there have been these relatively rare cases of human-to-human transmission of this virus known as the Andes virus.
What are the symptoms?
Well, the virus can cause two really severe illnesses. The first is called hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, and it often starts with sort of flu-like symptoms, really. You can get fatigue, fever, muscle aches, then followed by headaches, dizziness, chills.
Bro, first the freaking coronavirus was spread from a nigga eating a bat. Now we getting a virus from fucking rats? Bruh.
Upset stomachs. But then, this is where it starts to get very serious. You get respiratory symptoms develop. So, for example, breathlessness. And the mortality rate associated with this type of illness is around 38%. So more than a third of the people, according to the Centre for Disease Control in the United States, will die if they get that type of the virus.
Yo, he said more than a third will die.
Second illness is called hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, and this is even more severe and primarily affects the kidneys. So later symptoms can include low blood pressure, internal bleeding, and also acute kidney failure. The mortality rate for this version is 50%, so half the
Bomba clot.
people who get it are likely to die.
Who should be more worried? Is it more dangerous if an old person catches it?
Well, obviously, if you're older or frail, or even if you have underlying health conditions, any sort of serious infection like this could have devastating consequences. So it's pretty serious, however old or young you are.
How do you test for it?
So there are currently some cases that have been confirmed and some that are still suspected, but the way you test for it is what's called a PCR test. Now, people may remember these from the COVID.
Oh my fucking God, not these things again, bro. Bro, we're gonna have to go back to wearing them stupid ass masks, bro.
Pandemic, when you might have a swab inside your cheek or up your nose. What it is a molecular biology technique that can quickly amplify or copy specific DNA segments, and that can create millions or even billions of copies from a very, very minute sample. And that allows, in other words, genetic testing.
What's the treatment if you do have it?
So there is no specific treatment or indeed vaccinations for hantavirus infections. Instead, medical teams will be supporting and treating the symptoms of the infection. Things like breathlessness, for example, and that's called supportive care. So that might include everything from oxygen therapy, mechanical ventilation, antiviral treatments, even dialysis if you have the most serious version of the illness which can affect your kidneys.
So, will we have another lockdown? Is this like coronavirus 2.0?
It's obviously still a really serious situation for those who remain
Did this nigga just nod his head?
on board the cruise ship. There must be a lot of worry about more cases emerging among the remaining passengers and the crew on board. But the World Health Organization says that currently the risk to the global population is low. But public health experts are going to
Nigga, isn't that what they said about the COVID-19?
continue to monitor and assess that situation. That risk assessment will be updated if they think
Why did they let these niggas come off this boat, bro? That's my question, bro.
it's necessary. So at the moment, no, I think we are a long way from a lockdown, and this really doesn't look like a coronavirus moment. It's understandable why people might worry about that. We all remember the beginning of the COVID pandemic when cruise ships in particular seemed to be vulnerable to infections like this.
Bro, it's always the cruise ships, bro. Like, bro, why is it always the cruise ships? Gang. Why is it always the cruise ships, bro? Like,
How dangerous is hantavirus, the rare but lethal infection that's broken out on a quarantined cruise ship? Hantavirus is a family of viruses carried by rodents like mice and rats. It's spread to humans through contact with infected urine, droppings, or saliva. You may have heard of hantavirus last year, when Betsy Arakawa, the wife of
oh, so this been out.
Dr. Gene Hackman, died of the disease in Santa Fe. Now, at least 3 people are dead and several others are ill aboard a cruise ship in the Atlantic Ocean. According to the CDC, about 38% of people who develop respiratory symptoms from the virus die. There is no vaccine or specific treatment. Doctors can only manage symptoms and support breathing. And early stages of the illness are similar to the flu, which can delay diagnosis. Exposure often occurs in enclosed or poorly ventilated spaces where rodent activity is present. The CDC says it doesn't usually spread person to person. The exception is the Andes virus, which is a strain found primarily in Chile and Argentina that's shown limited evidence of human-to-human transmission. The strain is relevant.
Yo, gang, like, we're cooked, bro. These little motherfuckers be controlling New York, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
A luxury cruise turned deadly, a rare virus spreading at sea, and passengers trapped with no escape. What began as a dream voyage is now a floating nightmare. 3 lives lost to hantavirus, more under investigation. As authorities scramble to contain the outbreak, one chilling question looms: how far has it already spread? A deadly outbreak at sea, a rare virus on board, and passengers trapped far from shore. What began as a luxury voyage across the Atlantic has turned into a floating health emergency, raising urgent questions about containment, survival, and how far this silent threat has already spread. 3 people have died following a suspected hantavirus outbreak aboard a cruise ship sailing in the Atlantic Ocean, according to the World Health Organization. At least 1 case has been confirmed, while 5 more remain under investigation as health authorities race to understand the scale of the incident.
Who is aware of and supporting a public health event involving a cruise vessel sailing in the Atlantic Ocean? To date, 1 case of hantavirus infection has been laboratory confirmed, and there are 5 additional suspected cases. Of the 6 affected individuals, 3 have died and 1 is currently in intensive care in South Africa. Detailed investigations are ongoing.
What is going on, son?
A Dutch-operated cruise vessel.
Oh my goodness. We just heard this, so we're gonna skip. Rare virus kills 3 during, we just heard this.
Major illnesses. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome affects the lungs and carries a mortality rate of around 38%. It typically begins with flu-like symptoms such as fatigue, fever, and muscle aches, before progressing to respiratory distress. The second condition, hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, affects the kidneys and can lead to internal bleeding, low blood pressure, and acute kidney failure in severe cases. There is currently no specific cure or targeted treatment for hantavirus infections. Medical care focuses on managing symptoms.
Yeah, bro. If I see if I see a rat for now, bro. Every time I see a rat, nigga, I'm running for my life, gang. Running for my life. You motherfucker either I'm running for my life or I don't know, bro.
Including oxygen therapy, ventilatory support, and in critical cases, dialysis. Global data suggests that approximately 150,000 cases of hantavirus-related illness occur each year, primarily in Europe and Asia. However, outbreaks on cruise ships remain extremely rare, adding to the concerns surrounding this incident.
Bro, that's where
Crew members described as requiring urgent medical care. Hundreds of people remain sealed on a vessel with a confirmed deadly pathogen. Britain's Foreign Office says it is closely monitoring the situation and stands ready to assist British nationals.
Bro. Oh my God, bro. Nigga, what the fuck? You don't see one more video of this, bro. What is this? I mean, they say that it hasn't spread yet to like the United States, so I guess we're good for now.
Contact tracing has started in Europe and Africa. Health officials are searching for anyone who could have been in contact with the passengers on a cruise ship at the center of a deadly hantavirus outbreak. This comes as 3 sick passengers actually arrived in the Netherlands today for treatment. You know, back in 2021, there was a reported case of hantavirus right here in Southeast Michigan. So you may be asking, what exactly is this and what can you do to make sure you don't get it? Fox News' Ingrid Kelly is live tonight in Southfield with the answers. Ingrid.
Yeah. Well, hey, Roop, how are you? You know, that case was in Washtenaw County. It was the state's first and only case, and that person got the virus because they were cleaning out a space and there were a lot of rodent droppings present. Now, officials say a space like this, like a garage, an attic, you know, a basement even, can put you at risk for hantavirus if there are rodent droppings and you start to clean. Take a listen.
I was the medical director for the Washington County Health Department, and so I helped lead the investigation into this case along with the state. There was a lot of uncertainty at the time whether or not this represented a severe manifestation of COVID. So hantavirus is a rodent-borne viral illness. What it means is that this virus is shed in the urine, feces, and saliva
Ugh, look at that rat. Ew.
Infected rodents, and humans acquire it almost entirely through breathing in contaminated particles, especially like a poorly ventilated enclosed space. In North America, the deer mice is the most common reservoir.
We are working closely with our national and international public health community. We're receiving alerts and informational briefings about this so that we know what's happening, and they're trying to do everything they can to get to the bottom of this outbreak and to stop that chain of transmission. Because the thing with hantavirus is, even though it is rare, and it is especially rare in places like Michigan, it has a high case fatality rate, meaning that of people who get the infection, about a third of people actually do pass away.
Back out here live, you know, the good news about Michigan's first and only case is that they did survive. They were hospitalized, but they have since recovered. And, you know, it's spring now. And as people do spring cleaning, you know what? If you are in a space, again, like an attic, a garage, and you start to see rodent droppings, you know what? Just make sure that you wear a mask, you wear gloves. Also, too, before you sweep.
Oh, no, miss. I'm walking away. Fuck walking. I'm running.
Never dry sweep, which means taking this broom and you just start pushing up things. You know, that's going to bring those contaminated particles. It's gonna.
Why are you just giving us these viruses? Why am I looking up? I'm just staring at my wall.
Gonna put them in the air, you're gonna start breathing them, and then you become sick. So coming up at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna tell you other ways to stay healthy and to avoid hantavirus. And you may remember.
Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie, just avoid all rats, avoid all rodents. That's basically what they just saying, bro. That's basically what I'm hearing, and you don't gotta tell me twice, my nigga. Every time I see a rat or a mouse, I'm running for my life, my nigga. Running for my life, my nigga. That's all you gotta do, gang. All you gotta do, bro. Shit. Motherfuckers say Mickey Mouse, Splinter, Ratatouille. Y'all niggas is bugging. Y'all is not getting contact with me, gang. Fuck out of here, bro. Out of here, bro.